A teacher suing Kanye West and his private school, Donda Academy, claims that students are at least 2 years behind there and that they should, quote, get out now. Of course, the school had briefly shut down. It's been in sort of this transitional phase. I don't know going forward how much certainty there is about its activity, but in anticipation of that, the teacher is sort of opening the door on what really was going on there, not just in terms of the academics, but some of the very bizarre characteristics of the school that I find fascinating. We're gonna focus first on the academics though. Cecilia Hailey says the children are behind academically, especially in math. They're at least 2 years behind. Nobody's catching that this is supposed to be for the betterment of the children. They have to have a future. They gotta go someplace. If they go to another school, they don't have any transcripts. They have no grades, no report card. They're not accredited. If they go somewhere else and they get tested and they're supposed to be in 6th grade, but they test on a 4th grade level. By the way, some of this is coming about thanks to the Rolling Stone investigation from late last year that found that Donda Academy wasn't accredited at the point, that the principal and executive director hadn't previously held formal positions as educators, and that families sending their children to the school had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Here are some of the issues that were brought up during the lawsuit. There were claims that the campus did not provide janitorial services, security precautions, or even a school nurse or medical access. And here's where it gets fascinating. Students reportedly ate sushi every day for lunch and were not allowed to bring in outside food and sat on the floor as there were no tables and Kanye didn't allow chairs or forks or utensils. Also, school doors were locked from the outside. Look, I love the idea of having sushi for lunch. I might do that myself today, but it is weird to do it every day and to say you cannot eat anything else and you can't use utensils. That just seems really to have nothing to do with education at that point. I don't know, Conscious, what do you think? I don't know if you've been following this story.
Yeah, I definitely been following the story. As somebody that has a master's degree in education, as somebody that takes education very seriously, I think that Kanye West just be lost in the sauce a lot of times and getting his own way. We recognize that a lot of the things he was be teaching about race, class, gender, ability, or sexuality, I would call into question, especially if we recognize the people that was running his school has never had a formal position as an educator, doesn't have any degrees of expertise that makes them educator. It's literally just some friends that Kanye West just had. You see what I'm saying? And then lastly, I just really want to point out to all of the people that were parading Kanye West and saying he the truth and this, that, and the other, are y'all still paying attention to the devil in the details? The fact that he was bringing children into this school and their general welfare was being called into question. The fact that these people had to sign a non-disclosure for their people to get, it don't make sense. It's my question is literally, do you have the same energy when it comes to paying attention what's going on to Kanye when he's doing stuff he ain't got no business doing, than when you feel like he's being wrongfully persecuted?
Yeah, I mean, like worst case scenario, like there's a lawsuit, he has to pay some money, whatever, he'll be fine. But these kids might be set back for the rest of their lives. They might be trying to make up for the time that has effectively been lost in their education. Like, it feels so bad for them. And I'm gonna try to bear that in mind as we get to some of the more, like possibly even more ridiculous aspects of the story beyond just you have to sit on the floor and eat sushi. I almost don't even believe that this could be true, but here is the claim that's being made. All classes were on the first floor because, quote, he was reportedly afraid of stairs. Other rules imposed by Kanye West included no crossword puzzles, no jewelry, no color or artwork on the walls, and lunch and recess were at the same time and both were held indoors. Well, we know what the lunch portion was. Was it that some were doing recess and then they swapped? It's at the same time. Were they supposed to be playing with their sushi? And like, what do you mean no artwork on the, like this is supposed to be an environment that stimulates kids academically and they can't go up above the first floor because you're scared of stairs? Are you in the classroom? What do you care if someone else walks up some stairs? Stairs have been around for a long time and they have a pretty good safety record. I don't know, Conscious. I am a little bit hesitant about some of the claims because he's such a, obviously a larger than life figure who has done a lot of crazy things. So it's possible, I don't know, like it would be easy to pile stuff on top of him. But it is a legal filing. I imagine that they have some kind of evidence to back up the claim.
Man, I'm right now. I'm torn. I'm torn to the fact that whoever let this information leak out was a parent that willfully took their kid to that school. You see what I'm saying? So I can acknowledge that everything they complaining about is almost, to me, when I hear about the spouses that's complaining about, you know what I'm saying, each other, and they like, you left your dirty drawers on the floor. It's like, so were they dirty drawers on the floor the entire relationship, or was this at the end? And why you just saying somebody right now? Because I'm thinking about like, well, at the time he was pushing Donda Academy, he also was saying Hitler was a great person. He also is making a lot of the facetious claims about abortion. He also is making a lot of horrible, unethical claims about racism. So to me, I'm thinking of what in your right mind made you feel like Kanye West was a great person to be a thought leader, to have a school?
I mean, I definitely am on your side with that. I have never understood it. But, like my assumption would be, look, there are a lot of people who've been fans of Kanye West for a very long time, many years. And sometimes it's difficult for a person changing to get through to people, I think. So I don't know, but so I feel bad, but I agree.
Hey, the last thing I'll say too, I'm thinking about it. If that wasn't Kanye West and you said somebody else, I believe that everybody that loves Kanye West, especially the conservatives, would be jumping to call it some woke propaganda. And look at the woke people got the students eating sushi all day. I wonder, did the Marxists teach them they can only eat sushi for lunch? I wonder, did the feminists say they can't have any color on the? See, this is the woke people right here. They're so tied up in race they can't even have color on the walls. Just you see this.
I'm just gonna throw, as we close this topic, they also couldn't have color on themselves. Students had to wear only black clothing and dress only in apparel that was issued or designed by Kanye West. Nike and Adidas were forbidden. That I'm not surprised by. But they all have to be in black. Is this like a state-run school in North Korea? What is going on? They're kids. They're kids. They're supposed to be learning to read and to write and maybe some math. It didn't take for me, but for some people they like it. And maybe eat pizza on Fridays and do a crossword puzzle. I don't know, is that a part of a school? What is his issue with crossword puzzles? I don't understand a lot of this, but I am fascinated to see as this legal process continues.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.